Since the days of the Accord and Camry wagon, Honda and Toyota have been locked in a battle over family hauling supremacy. And now it's time for another round. In the red corner, we have the recently designed Toyota Highlander that wants to prove when it comes to three-row crossovers, there can only be one choice. And in the blue corner, we have the all-new Honda Pilot that wants to fly its way to victory. The three-row crossover has really taken over as the vehicle of choice for large families, so an all-new Pilot is a big deal for Honda. Instantly you can see that this is very different. Gone is the boxy shape of the old model, and at 194.5 inches long, the new vehicle is also a little bit longer, but it's also quite a bit lighter. With a new 3.5-liter V6 making 280 horsepower, the Pilot also has more power now. It's noticeably quicker in a straight line, which has a lot to do with the transmission. If you opt for the Touring or Elite, like I'm driving, you ditch the regular 6-speed automatic and get a 9-speed automatic stolen from the Acura MDX. Although this transmission can be a little delayed and downshifting during regular driving, when you really need to get the power, it will extract the most out of the V6. Best of all, the transmission is so smooth, just like the engine. It's just unfortunate that it's attached to a cumbersome start-stop system that is anything but smooth. Thankfully, that system can be turned off. The name Pilot is fitting for this vehicle because it feels like I'm behind the controls of a little airliner. Small, the Pilot is not. To help the Pilot negotiate corners, it is available with a torque management all-wheel drive system. But if you're driving hard enough to engage the system on a dry day, you may be driving the wrong vehicle. But the best aspect of the Pilot's drive has to be its comfort. The suspension is so soft and smooth, but it's also not floaty. It just swallows up all the bumps and gives you a solid, comfortable ride. Passenger space is quite important in a large crossover, and here Honda has done its homework. The second row offers plenty of headroom and legroom, and the seat cushions are quite comfortable. But the big news is in the third row. There's enough headroom back there for a passenger my height to fit, although legroom is a little tight and the seat cushion is set low. But getting in and out of the third row is a breeze because these doors open really wide and there's ample room to get between the seat and the door. But the real trick to get into the third row is Honda's fantastic single button mechanism that slides and tilts the seats forward. It involves no effort and can be done with one hand. With 18 cubic feet of space, the rear cargo area is one of the biggest in the segment, and there's an adjustable load floor. And if more space is needed, the third row of seats easily fold down with a single pull of the cord, whereas most other crossovers require two hands. But not everything is perfect inside the Pilot. I am still not a fan of the Honda Link system and its buttonless operation. And the actual screen on the infotainment system is set at too much of an angle, and it gets glare from both the windshield and the moonroof. Strangely, if you opt for the Touring or Elite version of the Pilot, like I'm driving now, you lose Honda's fantastic lane watch camera and instead just get old school blind spot monitors. What gives, Honda? So how does the Highlander stack up? Well, it too uses a 3.5-liter V6, but is down 10 horsepower compared to the Pilot and uses a more traditional 6-speed automatic transmission. Add in a higher curb weight and it's noticeably slower in a straight line. Easy to drive, the Highlander is an agreeable vehicle to operate, but it's missing that final dollop of refinement compared to the Pilot when it comes to things like ride comfort, transmission operation, and road noise. Toyota's paid attention to detail up front and made all the controls really easy to use and laid out in a logical fashion. The infotainment system in the Highlander absolutely trounces the one found in the Pilot, and I love this floating shelf sitting between the dashboard and the center consoles. I do have one complaint up front though, and that has to do with the driver's seat. I find there's a little too much cushion up on my shoulders as it feels like there's an air bubble pushing them forward at all times. Both vehicles can come with all the latest technology like rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warning, a rear entertainment system, and adaptive cruise control. Honda one-ups Toyota by offering active lane keep, while Toyota counters with the brand's Easy Speak system. Now, Easy Speak lets the driver talk to third-row passengers through the speaker system using the Bluetooth microphone. If it were up to me, I would gladly take Easy Speak over active lane keep. Loaded to the gills, the Highlander holds about a $2,300 price advantage over a fully loaded Pilot. But in real-world testing, the Highlander came up about 2.5 miles per gallon shy of the Pilot, which makes overall value pretty much a wash. Oddly, despite the larger weight, the Highlander is the smaller of the two vehicles. Now we're just talking a few inches here and there, but it does add up. Not so much in the second row seat, where there's more than enough space and comfort is actually a little bit better than the Pilot, but behind here it's a completely different story. The third row of seats are some of the worst in the segment. Headroom is lacking, legroom is lacking, and the headrests, even when raised, dig into the necks and backs of a lot of passengers. I know the third row is meant for children, but even some adolescents are going to have trouble cramming back there. And entry to the third row isn't as good either. Although there is just a single lever mechanism to slide the seat forward, it's not as slick as Honda's single button, and the actual opening is smaller, making ingress and egress a little more difficult. And in the cargo area, the Highlander once again comes up a bit short, offering less room and no adjustable load floor. The Pilot and the Highlander are both compelling in their own right. The Toyota holds a small advantage when it comes to usability and fit and finish, while the Pilot holds an edge in space, refinement, and performance. But large family haulers are designed to, haul large families, and here it is no contest. The Pilot offers way more space without any of the usual penalties in fuel economy or weight. It looks like this round goes to Honda.